A 46-second clip goes viral. The fandom holds its breath.
Oh, yeah.
Netizens sharpen their knives. In an instant, the entire K-pop world is turned upside down as one of the biggest stars on the planet is accused of showing her quote-unquote real face.
It was literally everywhere.
Welcome to Starscope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates.
From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
So today, our mission for this deep dive into the source material is unpacking the intense, completely viral hate train surrounding BLACKPINK's Jennie. We are diving into the recent controversies, from the stage presence allegations all the way to that massive indoor vaping firestorm.
Right, the vaping thing was huge.
Yeah, and we're going to look at exactly how she answered all that noise with her historic solo album, Ruby.
And, that's not even the wildest part of this story. Later in the deep dive, we'll uncover the surprising psychological reason behind the lazy allegations that honestly changes everything you think you know about how idols operate.
Yeah, we definitely need to get into that. But first, I watched this viral compilation video that her antis have been spreading absolutely like wildfire.
Oh, I've seen it.
And the most frustrating part is how completely they weaponized an entirely sarcastic joke. The X timeline, formerly Twitter, has been just exploding over this spliced-together video that's basically meant to prove that Jennie has an unlikable personality.
It's so manipulative.
Right. There are tweets racking up tens of thousands of likes, with users calling her not a girl's girl and labeling her as incredibly arrogant.
Yeah.
And it all starts with a clip from her appearance on the Chicken Shop Date interview show.
Right, the interview with Amelia.
Exactly. In it, she makes this very dry, British-style joke, saying she doesn't like anyone, so saying "I like you" is a massive compliment. And somehow people took that totally literally.
It is genuinely infuriating to watch. As someone who has navigated the waters of the Hallyu wave, the global spread of Korean culture, and deeply understands how hardcore fandom dynamics operate, seeing these microscopic, stitched-together videos get used as character assassination just shows how easily a narrative is manipulated.
Totally.
Antis know exactly what they are doing. They strip away the tone, they strip away the environment, and they leave you with this 2-second soundbite designed to just, make you angry.
And they didn't stop there either. The video then aggressively cuts to the Deadline World Tour, specifically the massive shows on July 5th and 6th at Goyang International Stadium.
Oh, the choreography clip.
Right. So right in the middle of performing do-do-do-do-do, she pauses mid-choreography. Immediately, the comments section of this viral video flooded with people calling her lazy and claiming she has zero stage presence.
Of course they did.
And the final piece of this compilation was from an incident in Paris back in March 2026. A video circulated accusing her of racism, supposedly because she avoided touching a black fan's hand while signing a photo card. People were analyzing her facial expressions frame by frame.
Which is just insane.
Yeah, saying she looked annoyed when the person said, "This is for my sister."
What is fascinating and honestly incredibly dark is how quickly netizens, the online community, jump to the worst possible conclusion based on absolute zero context.
Oh, 100%.
If you look at the actual truth that fans uncovered, it tells a completely different story. During that Deadline tour, she wasn't catching her breath because she felt like giving only 5% effort.
Right.
She was actively dealing with a completely broken in-ear monitor. I mean, anyone who understands live music knows how catastrophic that is.
Yeah, it's a huge deal.
If you have 50,000 screaming fans in a stadium and your in-ear goes out, the sound delay bouncing off the walls is deafening. You are literally flying blind. You physically cannot sing on the beat unless you stop, pause the choreography, and fix the audio feed.
Exactly. And regarding that Paris incident, it wasn't even a real fan interaction.
Not at all.
She was being hounded by aggressive professional resellers. These are people operating in the black market of K-pop merchandise who just shove massive stacks of photo cards at idols just to flip them online for a profit.
Yeah, they don't care about the artist.
Exactly. Her manager actually had to intervene just to protect her physical space.
Fans were incredibly quick to quote the viral tweets, defending her, and pointing out that this entire hate train is just pure, bitter high school girl projection.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
They rightly called out the obsessive hatred directed at a stranger who was literally just trying to navigate a mob safely.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I want you to compare this microscopic scrutiny to a sports referee watching a slow-motion instant replay.
Oh, that's a good point.
In sports, we accept that slowing a play down frame by frame can make a totally accidental collision look like a malicious, calculated foul. We are doing that exact same thing with a human being's blink or a quick breath or a moment of overwhelm while being aggressively mobbed by resellers.
We really are.
We zoom in on a fraction of a second, remove all the real-world chaos surrounding her, and decide, yes, this isolated micro-expression is her real face. Like, could you survive if every breath you took at work was judged by millions of people looking for a reason to hate you?
No, absolutely not. And just like that referee, netizens are watching her in slow motion, looking specifically for a foul. So, they find one, regardless of her actual intent.
Right. But the haters were desperate to find a flaw in these out-of-context clips. And then, well, in July, she accidentally gave them a real one. Let's talk about the Capri incident.
Yes, the deleted Capri vlog scene. I mean, this was the moment that ignited a massive firestorm online because this time the footage was clear. Jennie was seen vaping indoors and blowing smoke near a makeup artist's face.
I want to break down exactly how this unfolded because the speed of the backlash was just staggering. This happened in July on her own YouTube blog, A Moment in Capri.
Right.
She was prepping for her runway debut at Jacquemus's fashion show in Italy. Fans spotted the vape, and the backlash over indoor smoking and staff disrespect was immediate.
It was so fast.
Yeah, and the video was hastily edited to remove the clip. Soon after, her own label, OA Entertainment, issued a formal apology. They acknowledged she made fans uncomfortable and caused inconvenience to the staff, noting she apologized to the staff on-site personally. But what really stands out is Jennie's own quote when she addressed it directly in a Harper's Bazaar cover story in September 2024.
She was so honest in that.
She was remarkably blunt about the reality of her situation. She said, and I quote, "What can I do? If Korean people think it's wrong, I've got to make up for it. It's cultural, it's history, it's time, and I can't go against time."
That quote is so revealing, and it leads directly into the psychological profile laid out in the research by Neurolaunch. They published this really deep dive into the mental toll of the K-pop industry.
Yeah, what did they find?
Well, they pointed out something crucial. This industry is actively engineered in a way that destroys psychological comfort. Training begins in childhood, meaning the psychological development of an idol is intrinsically tied to public approval.
Right, they grow up in the spotlight.
Exactly. The exposure is total, and the gap between the manufactured persona and a real human nervous system is enormous. Since her 2016 debut, Jennie's core personality has always been deeply introverted.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Her natural coping mechanism when she's overwhelmed is to retreat inward to conserve energy. But in the K-pop landscape, a parasocial relationship demands constant, unwavering access to the idol.
Wow, so true.
So because she tries to set basic human boundaries like, not smiling every single second she's on camera, her behavior repeatedly gets mislabeled by fans as coldness or aloofness.
That makes so much sense.
A boundary is perceived as a threat by a fan who feels they basically own a piece of her.
Which makes her marketing strategy feel almost like a double-edged sword, right? Because she's known as the human Chanel.
Exactly.
She has these incredibly fierce visuals. She's the member known for a striking, almost untouchable appearance.
Yeah, her brand is heavily marketed around this fierce, bad girl image. But as Neurolaunch notes, marketing typologies completely flatten real, complex character.
Right.
That persona was a useful shield for the stage, but the public assumed the shield was her actual personality, completely erasing her highly sensitive nature.
That is so unfair.
They even noted that the original 2018 lazy narrative, which, by the way, still haunts her to this day, was entirely built on false premises.
Oh, wait.
Yes, she was actually performing through a severe leg injury. But the narrative was already written. The public had already decided she was arrogant, so they just ignored the medical reality.
Oh, wow. That's just sad. But wait, thinking about the Capri incident, she was in Italy, right?
Yeah, Capri.
Vaping indoors is completely legal there. It's wild to me that she's essentially carrying this portable, invisible bubble of Korean cultural law with her everywhere she goes.
It really is an invisible bubble.
Is that just the price of being a global bias, the favorite member everyone focuses on? If an artist is physically in a country where an act is completely legal, should they still be held to the moral and cultural laws of their home country? It feels like they are trapped.
They are.
They can travel the world, but they can never actually leave the watchful, judging eyes of their domestic culture.
It's the invisible tax of being a global idol. You aren't just a pop star. You are an ambassador of your culture's morality, 24/7. And any misstep, even thousands of miles away, is magnified 1,000 times over back home.
If you love unpacking the real psychology behind your favorite idols, make sure you're subscribed to Starscope K-Report. We dive past the headlines every single week to understand the people behind the personas.
But wait till you hear how Jennie silenced those haters. Her next move didn't just break the internet, it literally made music history.
Right, because you don't respond to a massive hate train with endless notes app apologies.
Yeah.
You respond by dropping a monster of an album.
Absolutely.
Let's look at the staggering triumph of her solo comeback, her return to the music scene with the album Ruby. Released on March 7th, 2025, under her own label, Atelier, in partnership with Columbia Records.
Such a huge deal.
Yeah, and this wasn't just a quick, manufactured pop release to appease fans. It is a massive 15-track album that structurally explores Shakespeare's 7 stages of life. We are talking huge collaborations here. Childish Gambino, Dutigi, Dua Lipa, and Kali Uchis.
The ambition is incredible, and it is a direct middle finger to the lazy allegations. By heavily involving herself in the production across Los Angeles, Seoul, and Copenhagen, mixing pop, hip-hop, and R&B, she proved exactly what she was doing during her time away.
She really did.
By structuring the album around Shakespeare's 7 stages of life, the infant trainee, the lover idol, the soldier fighting controversy, she was actively reclaiming her own narrative. Her intense, hands-on creative control in this era proved that her hiatus from solo music was purely to perfect her craft as an artist.
And we have to talk about how she achieved this, because the stats are just colossal. Over 1 million copies sold worldwide.
Insane.
It debuted at number 7 on the US Billboard 200 and number 3 on the UK Albums chart, tying for the highest-ranked album overall by a K-pop solo artist.
Wow.
Yeah, in South Korea alone, it sold over 660,000 copies in its first week. The singles, Mantra, Like Jennie, and Handlebars absolutely dominated the global charts.
We were everywhere.
She even had 3 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 simultaneously, which is a first for a K-pop female soloist. It wasn't just popular, it was totally inescapable.
It was an absolute all-kill, dominating every single major music chart simultaneously. She didn't have to argue with netizens online. She let her artistry speak entirely for itself. The fans who stood by her during the viral hate train were completely vindicated by the sheer quality of music.
But I found something in the research that presents a really bizarre contrast. While she is achieving massive global musical dominance, she is facing very real domestic TV struggles.
Oh, the variety shows.
Yeah. According to a report by the Korea Times, her recent appearances on traditional Korean variety shows have, well, kind of tanked.
Yeah, they didn't do great.
We're talking about shows like Apartment 404 and, most recently, The Secret Friends Club. That last one pulled a 2.1% Nielsen rating, which is roughly half the viewership of the show that aired before it.
Yikes.
Critics are claiming she lacks the improvisational wit and self-deprecating charm needed for traditional Korean variety TV, leaving her as just a quote-unquote symbolic presence on screen.
Which honestly raises a massive question about the contradictory expectations placed on K-pop idols. Like, why does a global fashion and music icon need to be a slapstick comedian?
That's what I'm saying.
Traditional Korean variety shows demand very loud reactions, rolling around on the floor, and heavy self-deprecation to prove you are relatable. They want her to be a flawless, untouchable, global superstar on stage, but then they demand she act like a goofy amateur on television.
It's so weird.
Even the youngest members of groups, the maknae, who are traditionally expected to be the most playful and submissive, struggle with this intense cultural whiplash. She doesn't need to be a variety star. It is a completely different skill set.
It makes me think of putting a Michelin star chef on a stage and demanding they perform a juggling routine with their knives.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy.
Right. It's not that the chef isn't talented. It's that you are forcing them to use an entirely wrong tool set for cheap entertainment. Jennie is built for the global stage, for high-concept art, and for stadium performances. She's not built for running away from comedians on a variety set just to generate a quick, relatable, viral clip for domestic television.
Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update, because the Hallyu wave never sleeps and the expectations are, well, they're always shifting.
We've covered the viral hate, the cultural double standards, and the historic album success. But what does this all mean for the human being at the very center of it?
If we take a step back and connect all these controversies, the stitched-together Twitter videos from the tour, the intense backlash over a vape in Italy, the variety show critiques, it all comes back to the terrifying, fundamental lack of privacy these idols face.
It really does.
It reminds me of the chilling incident back in 2022 where YG Entertainment had to take strong legal action under the Information and Communications Network Act.
Oh, the photos.
Yeah, people were maliciously spreading Jennie's illegally obtained private photos, the highly rumored dating photos with BTS's V. They were mass-producing rumors, sexual harassment, and personal attacks.
It was a really dark time for the fandom.
It's a stark reminder that beneath the historic chart records, the fierce marketing, and the glamorous visuals, there's a real person whose boundaries are constantly being violated by the public.
It really leaves you with an uncomfortable question to mull over. When you look at the immense pressure, the constant unforgiving surveillance, and the immediate rush to character assassination over a 3-second clip, are we actually demanding that our idols be authentic, complex humans who make mistakes and learn from them? Or are we secretly just demanding that they be perfect, flawless robots that never step out of line? You've been listening to Starscope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the story shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.